kids. This is Physics Minor and your lead pastronaut, Pastor Reed Lee Peterson. And normally, every week I try to do a children's science experiment sermon, but today's a little different. It's hard to come up with a science experiment sermon to do every week, and so this week we're going to do story time with Pastor Reed. Our story today has to do with four different people with big names. I think it's King, New Old Dresser, and he's mad at Steak Shack, My Shack, and I Bet I Go. No, wait. Sorry, wrong names. I messed that up. It's King Nebuchadnezzar with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Now, have you ever met anyone with those names? Probably not. But this story is a story about how God protected his faithful servants. He protected Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And it's a nice lesson that God will protect you too. I don't want to take up your time, and so here is a reading of the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the furnace of fire. King Nebuchadnezzar was so angry that his face got all scrunched up and almost turned purple. Why was he so mad? Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, three of his workers, said no when King Nebuchadnezzar declared that everyone had to bow down to a huge golden statue he'd made of himself. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego knew that God was the only one they should worship, but this made King Nebuchadnezzar so angry, no one disobeyed the king. The king commanded to have the men tied up and thrown into the furnace. He even ordered to have the furnace turned up 7 times hotter than normal. Ouch, it was hot. When Nebuchadnezzar peeked into the furnace to see Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, he was surprised. "I thought we threw 3 men in there," he shouted. "But I see 4 men walking around in there, and they aren't even tied up. They're fine. What's going on?" The extra man in the furnace was an angel sent by God to protect the 3 men from the fire. The king flung open the door of the hot, fiery furnace and called, "Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, come out right now!" When they came out, everyone noticed that the fire hadn't hurt them. They didn't even smell like smoke. King Nebuchadnezzar was amazed, realizing what had happened. "Your God sent an angel to protect you. You disobeyed me and faced death rather than worship someone other than God. I declare that no one in a country can say anything against the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, because no God can do what their God can do."
When do you get scared? How do you know God is with you at scary times?